it has been what feels like forever since I have been live with you guys here. To say that August has been a little bit crazy would be an understatement. I've had so much going on, as I'm sure most of you have as well. So it's nothing new. But if you're new to my channels here or haven't watched it, anything that I do, that's okay. Welcome. My name is Jen J. I'm an advanced holistic nutritionist, and I help women balance their hormones and experience symptomatic relief from period drama. Now, I am a mama of a beautiful little girl who's about to turn 6 years old. And so my practice has a very strong focus on family nutrition because I totally get it, how difficult it can be to take care of ourselves when we are also taking care of our family. So my practice has that umbrella approach. Now today I wanted to share with you guys a really fun summer recipe because even though I'm already kind of in back to school mode, like we're 2 weeks out from when school starts, I'm also sort of in that fall mode. I get that we do still actually have 2 weeks left of our Canadian summer vacation. So let's take advantage of that to make some really great tasting snacks. And this is one that I actually really, really enjoy. And I'm really hoping my daughter's going to love it too. She's really weird about eating yogurt. It's a texture thing for her. She won't eat it. So I'm hoping that by us freezing it, maybe in a different texture, different format, she might enjoy it more. So today I'm actually going to be making a protein-packed plant-based yogurt bark. It's very simple, very easy to do. So we're going to go ahead and get started. All you're going to need is some plant-based yogurt. And I just picked mine up from No Frills. So I have the PC brand cultured coconut milk yogurt alternative. And I love that it's cultured, right? Like that's a big deal. I've seen a lot of plant-based yogurts on the market that don't have that cultured aspect. So it is nice to at least bridge the gap in some of those probiotics that we might be missing from eating dairy products if we're eating either plant-based or dairy-free. So you're also going to need a spoon, which apparently I forgot. There we go. You're going to need some of your favorite plant-based protein powder. So I'm using the Juice Plus Complete. You'll see that in the description of this video. I've included a tiny little bit of information about it, as well as a link if you want to check it out. It is my favorite. It's also the only plant-based one that I use in my house. And so my yogurt here actually has like a ton of water in it. I'm just going to drain that out before we get started. Okay, there we go. Now, in the meantime, let me know, where are you plugging in from? Are you watching me live right now? Say hi. And if you're watching me on the replay, just give me a hashtag replay. Let me know. We are going to, okay, so we've got our yogurt, our plant-based protein powder. We're also just going to need some fruit. Whatever selection you have on hand, whatever you enjoy. And if you want or desire, you could also add some chopped nuts and seeds. So there are actually a couple of things I'm going to add to this as well. I'm going to grab my jars right behind me here. All right, so I grabbed some walnuts, some shredded coconut, and some dairy-free, sugar-free chocolate chips right there. But we're going to go ahead and get started with the yogurt first. And you can see that I've also already got a lot of my fruit prepped so that we're not here all day watching me cut fruit. So we're going to start with, I don't even know how much that is. I'm literally just going to eyeball this and see how it turns out. Maybe I've got about 3/4 of a cup of yogurt here. I also have another container that I haven't opened yet. So I'm just going to smooth out my yogurt before I add my powder. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to make 2 batches. So 1 batch in vanilla, 1 batch in chocolate, different toppings on both, just to have a little bit of variety and something fresh and new. So I'm going to start with our vanilla. So I'm just going to add 1 scoop of vanilla here. Now let me know in the comments, how has your summer been? As I mentioned, like my August has been just all over the place. I just can't seem to get my days in order. July was decent though. Like I had a pretty routine structure going on for July, I feel like. August has definitely been a little bit more difficult to manage. All right, so I'm just going to stir that. And you can see, actually, well, I hope you can see how smoothly this powder actually blends and stirs into this yogurt. Not a lot of powders are like that. A lot of them are really grainy or they just, they clump a lot. This one is just really great. It's really smooth. Again, one of the other reasons why I love it. So just like that. Oh, this smells so good. It's French vanilla, by the way, not just vanilla. Okay, just like that. Now what I'm going to do is, so believe it or not, I actually don't own a low dish baking pan or like cooking pan. I really only own these. So we're going to be using this today. Luckily, it's freezer friendly. So I'm also going to use just some parchment paper to line it so that it's easy for me to get the bark out when it's frozen. I'm just going to put that in there, touch it down a little bit. If you are watching, just give me a hi in the comments there. So I'm using, I don't know if you know this, but I'm using that multi-streaming app because I'm actually live on a couple of my platforms right now. So if you're watching me on Facebook, hello, thank you. If you're watching me on Instagram, again, hi. And maybe you're even watching me on YouTube right now, which is really cool. So let me know in the comments where you're watching from. But yes, so with this multi-streaming program, it's actually very difficult for me to see that you're on live with me. So letting me know in the comments that you're here hanging out with me is really, really great and helpful. Hey, Sophie. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. We're going to have a blast. All right. So now we've got that lined. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this in there, and then we are going to top it. Okay, so the vanilla one is going to actually be for me. Actually, maybe I'll use a smaller dish because I'm not using a lot of vanilla. Okay, we're going to use this one for the vanilla, and we'll use the bigger one for the chocolate. So this week, my daughter loves chocolate everything. So I'm going to make a larger batch of the chocolate for her. And since it's probably just me going to be eating the vanilla one, although I'm sure my husband will have some too, I'll make a smaller batch. So, okay, well, we'll stick in when the yogurt's in. Okay, we're going to pour the yogurt in, get this moving. This is really a very simple recipe. Like, there's no really measuring or anything. Just go with what feels good, with what you guys enjoy. This is also a really great snack that you can make with your children if you're at home with them right now. And, get them exploring in the kitchen, choosing different flavors, choosing different combinations, getting comfortable, working a knife if they're old enough and mature enough to be handling that, and just, involved in the process. Plus, it's a really great bonding opportunity for you and your children. So we're going to spread this yogurt out. And again, like I said, this recipe is really forgiving, so you do not have to be, super cautious with it or anything. Just go for it. Okay, there we go. So I will say, earlier I mentioned that you could use, your favorite protein powder. I will say that one of the reasons I'm using this one is because it is family friendly. Can't say that about all protein powders. So I do love that this is one that, we can feed to our children. It's also school friendly. So, obviously this recipe won't work setting for school because it'll be frozen. But, yesterday I was part of a workshop where we actually made protein bowls. And I'll just show you really quick using this protein powder. And this right here is totally school friendly and makes a great alternative to sending your children with, say, a granola bar, right? So, okay, so now I've lined that out, so I'm going to top it. So I'm in a super big pina colada craze right now, like beyond ridiculous. So now that I've got that vanilla base, I'm actually going to top it with some of that, pina colada type flavoring. So I've chopped up some banana that was going brown on my counter. So I'm going to just put a few pieces on top here, and I'm just going to scatter them and stick them down into the yogurt a little bit so that they will freeze in the yogurt. So again, you don't have to be perfect with this. Just whatever looks or feels good, make it happen. There we go. Ugh, nothing better than mashed banana all over your fingers. I actually don't like the taste of raw, like sweet bananas like that. It's too much for me, but okay. Then I'm also going to do some chopped pineapple. So I'm going to sprinkle that, and then I'll push it down as well. And I'm going to add 2 more things to this one. Of course, it's not a pina colada without coconut. So here we go. So my yogurt was coconut based, but I'm also going to add some sprinkled shredded coconut. There we go. And because I love a little bit of crunch, and I love adding nutrition to our food in all kinds of ways. Like I just love having my food nutrient dense as possible. I'm going to add a little bit of walnuts. And because, like I said, this one's most likely just for me, I don't have to worry about it going to school or anywhere where children are going to be. So I can have mine full of nuts and not have to worry about that restriction. So just, that was probably like a teaspoon. I really didn't add much. And again, I'm just going to crush these down or push them down just so they're making good contact with the yogurt so that when everything freezes and I crack all this open, it's all going to stay stuck to it. Julie, you should try it. It's so good. So this is one flavor, okay? So let me just see if you guys can see that. Can you guys see that really well? I have no idea. Like, I feel like the lighting in this room is weird. Anyways, there we go. So I'm going to throw that in the freezer in my garage. So my little freezer here doesn't have quite enough space for these large containers. So I'll put this one to the side and I'll do the chocolate one with you and kind of show you what recipe I'm going to use for that. And I am going to use my much larger pan for this one because I am going to do a pretty significantly large batch. My daughter loves chocolate. My husband will eat anything. I'm so grateful, you guys. I'm so very lucky that I only have to sort of appease one palate in my household, which is great. So here, because I'm going to do a larger batch, I probably just did like 2/3 of that container. I'm going to save some of it because I do love to just have yogurt on hand, mixed for great like salad dressings and that sort of thing. Then I'm going to add my chocolate complete. And so because I'm doing a bigger batch, last time my scoop wasn't quite full. I think I'm actually going to just do a full level scoop with this, just like that. But I'm not going to worry about it too much. And the reason for that is, one, the rest of the fruit on this is going to just help sweeten it up. And I'm actually going to be adding chocolate chips to this one. So it's going to kind of be like a double chocolate. Oh, look, I chopped mangoes and I forgot about them. Whatever, I guess I have a snack for later. The mangoes were for my pina colada one, but that's okay. All right, so we'll stir up this chocolate. So this protein powder has about 12 to 13 grams of protein in a serving. And it's, as you can see, very versatile. It's not just, like a shake powder. It's not just something that you put in smoothies. Although I will say I do eat it daily in my smoothies. But I do love that there's just so many different ways you can use it. Like you can see, I've just made a chocolate, like a chocolate yogurt, just like that in the last couple seconds we've been talking, right? And then I made our protein balls last night. A friend of mine last night in our workshop, so I made the protein balls. She actually made Rice Krispie squares using our protein powder, a vegan Rice Krispie square, and it just looked amazing. So I'm really excited to go grocery shopping this week and grab some rice cereal because those I think would be amazing snacks for our children and their lunch boxes. And like I said, like I'm 2 weeks out from school. That is where my mind is right now, is because I've got September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. I have 10 months ahead of me of figuring out what to send my daughter to school with every single day for her lunch and snacks. So I'm already in that mode. Hence why I'm totally over summer right now. But here we are. Okay, so again, that just blended up so smoothly. Like it just, and all I did was stir it, right? So we're gonna, again, pour this into my container here. And we're gonna spread it out. Try and get an even layer of it everywhere, but like I said, you don't have to make it perfect. I'm losing my little Band-Aid. So this morning somehow I ended up with a shard of glass in my finger. I found some glass pieces on my little red placemat here at the table, picked it up and went to put it in the garbage, and instead of putting it in the garbage, I put it right into my finger. Don't know how I did it, don't know where it came from. It's really strange, but luckily I got it out. So, okay, so there we go. I'm curious to know, like, because I'm always looking for ideas, what do you send your kids to school with for their lunches? Typically in my daughter's lunch, I send her with like a bento box style. So she has just a large variety of different things. She never really has like a meal and a couple of snacks. It all looks like a snack, or it all looks like an unassembled meal, basically. So I'm curious, how do you, or what do you send your kids to school with for lunches? Because any ideas would be appreciated. Even if it's not plant-based like we are, that's okay, because if you've got some ideas, I could probably plant-based it or modify it in some way to make it fit into our eating style. So let me know in the comments what you guys do, what your kids love to eat. Again, here we go. So once these are in the freezer, you're going to typically leave them in there for 3 to 4 hours until they are frozen solid. So keep an eye on them. You don't have to over freeze them, but again, if they're there for 12 hours, whatever. This is a great, option that you could make, say at the end of your day, pop it in the freezer and have it ready for the next day. Or make it in the morning when you know it's going to be a hot one, and by the time afternoon rolls around, you've got a wonderful, cool treat, healthy treat that's actually going to fuel you and your family instead of replacing opportunities for good nutrition with more unhealthy options. That's so good. Okay, so we're going to sprinkle some mixed berries in here. So I just have blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, and I think there's probably strawberries in here. I don't know. It's literally just the frozen fruit blend from No Frills. So I'm going to sprinkle this all over. And this is a blend of fruit that I know my daughter loves. She doesn't love mango, so that's why I'm not going to put that on this one. I'm going to spread these out. Try and get some bit of fruit in every corner here. And it looks like I didn't pull out enough fruit. Luckily, my daughter does love pineapple, so we'll throw some of that in. Worst case, if she doesn't love that corner, my husband can eat it. There you go. So if you didn't want to dirty more dishes, a really great way of making this recipe is to do it in strips, right? So you've got your base. So if everybody in your house agrees, say on a chocolate base, you could actually make strips of this with different toppings and flavors and, combination themes. So, you could come in and give yourself the pina colada that I just made, right? Maybe your daughter comes in and she makes herself this double chocolate mixed berry that I'm making. Maybe your son comes in and he does like an apple cinnamon mixture, right? And so you just sort of portion it out in strips inside of your container. And then everybody has their their own flavor, right? And then you're not using more containers than necessary in your freezer. Maybe you don't have enough freezer space for that, right? Okay, and then I'm just, like I said, going to add these dairy-free, unsweetened chocolate chips. So we're going to kind of make this like a double chocolate frozen bark. This is looking so good, and it just smells amazing. It's nothing better than fresh fruit and a little bit of chocolate. Couple more, because why not, right? And then again, I'm just going to push these down lightly, push everything down lightly so it's all making good contact with the yogurt. And then we just pop it all in the freezer for 3 to 4 hours. Just like that. Super easy, simple snack that's actually going to fuel you, right? Instead of running to your local ice cream parlor, you've got a healthy, nutritious, family-friendly, entirely plant-based frozen summer snack. Just like that. Okay, so when I pull these out of the freezer in a couple of hours, I will snap some photos, share them on my social media. So if you're currently watching me on YouTube, I encourage you to run over to my social media channels. You can find me on Instagram at Living Healthy One Bite at a Time. You can find me on Facebook, just following my name, Jen Jodwine, or my Facebook page, again, Living Healthy One Bite at a Time. If you're already following me on Facebook or Instagram, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I would love if you could love this video, share it with a friend who maybe already uses our complete protein powder, or who is looking for additional snack options and would just love these kind of combinations. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today, and I'm hoping that as our routines kind of come back into place, that I can come on here a little bit more often and share some of more recipes like this, more goodies that can keep you motivated and moving forward in your health journey. Thanks so much, everybody, and have a great day. Bye.